Welcome back. Now, to continue our discussion on nouns, we're going to be talking about two characteristics of nouns. One is that of number. Number refers to nouns being singular and plural. On section 4.8, page 51, you'll find some more detail. We call regular plural to all those nouns that form the plural form by adding s or es. The e will depend on the ending of the word. Okay, so this is the regular plural for nouns. Okay, just adding s. Now, the spelling will vary depending on the base form, the singular form of the noun in question. Now, whenever we have a noun that finishes in s, vx, sh, or eh, the ending takes the es form. All right. Whenever we have a consonant plus y, we are going to change the y into I, and the ending will be ien. And then whenever we have a word that ends in o, it might either take the es or the s ending. All right. You will have to check with a dictionary which are those words that end in o. For example, potato, potato, with es. Tomato, tomato. It could either, I think, be with s or es. Now, the pronunciation of these endings, you are going to deal with this in phonetics, or you probably did already. We're going to pronounce the s for the plural nouns as whenever we have a voiceless consonant in the base form, that is the singular noun. We are going to pronounce that s as after voice consonants and vowels, okay, depending on the base form, the singular form. Is that okay? So we are going to be pronouncing is, the plural ending, whenever we have a noun that finishes in one of these sounds, okay? So sibilants are these sounds. Whenever we have either of these, the plural will be pronounced as is. We are adding an extra syllable. For example, church, churches, watches. I cannot think. I'm very bad at example. Foxes. Is that okay? Now, if the plurals ended there, they would be complicated enough. But some plurals are irregular. So the regular plural is adding the s. Irregular plural implies some other changes. So for example, we may have a vowel change whenever we say woman and women. Okay, a woman is only one, two women, two or more. Okay, foot and feet, one foot, 2 feet. Mouse and mice, one mouse, 3 mice. Now, some other plurals involve adding en or ren to the content of the word. So, for example, one child, 2 children. So don't ever say child, okay? Because the plural for child is children. Oxen, oxen, this is an animal, but you won't use it probably, just so that you know. We might have a consonant change that indicates the plural besides adding the s. So for example, knife, knives, life, lives, shells, shells, wolf, wolves. So we are changing the s for b. All right? Now, there are some plurals that belong to other languages, and it's pretty easy to recognize them once you are acquainted with them. They are not difficult, but the list is long. So whenever we have an ending, a Latin or Greek ending that is us, we are going to say alumnus for the singular, alumni for the plural, nucleus for the singular, nuclei for the plural, nuclei, sorry, nuclei. Thesaurus, singular, thesauri, plural. So we are going to say one nucleus. We can say 10 nuclei. All right. Even though it doesn't sound plural, it is plural. All right. Now, nouns ending in um form the plural by changing into an a ending. Let's go to the aquarium. There are 2 aquaria in the city. That sounds funny and odd. The curriculum, this is a word that you will come across a lot in your studies. The curricula, we are referring to the plural. Minimum and minima, all right? Then we have nouns ending in a, which add a need from the plural. Alga, algae, formula, formulae, and then nouns ending in ex or ix change for a ces. So appendix, appendices, index, indices. These are words that you will be using a lot as well, probably. But good that you know them. Then we have some other words. Nouns ending in is change for es. This is difficult to remember. Axis, axes, crisis, crises, hypothesis, hypotheses. There's a change in pronunciation as well here, where this is axis, this is axes, where this is crisis, this is crises. Okay, so the sound here is longer in plural form. Okay, hypothesis or hypothesis is a word that you will be using a lot as well, I assume. Now, nouns ending in on change for a. Criterion, criteria, phenomenon, phenomena. And these words you will be using a lot as well. So it's not that they're not used. Probably a non-standard variation you can already find criterion, phenomenon, but that's not the standard thing to say. All right. Now, further discussion on nouns has to do with gender. Before moving on to gender, I forgot about this one. There are some zero plurals. That means that the form for the singular and the plural is the same. One fish, two fish, deer, salmon, sheep, and duck. They are either singular or plural, depending on how you use what you refer to. But you probably will find fishes already to refer to the plural form, but then again, that's not a standard until the country is stated. But well, we'll have to take a look into that. Then are some plural, and something interesting is that they are all animals. Some plural only nouns and singular nouns ending in s, which can be rather confusing. These ones look singular but are plural. People, police, stuff. They are plural. People are, police are, stuff are working. Okay? So don't ever say people is. Okay? That is wrong. That is ungrammatical. Even in non-standard varieties, it's always people are. Okay? People work, not people work. Okay? And remember me whenever you say people is, and the teacher tells you people are. Okay? And then there are some nouns which look plural but are singular. Things get messy sometimes. News, missless, checkers. If you can find any other, that would be nice. The news is saying that, okay, something bad is happening. Now, yes, we get into gender. Probably it's much simpler than in Spanish, so you shouldn't worry so much about gender. Most of the time, in section 4.10, page 58, you will find more than notes on that. Okay, and it says that in English language, gender is closely tied to the sex of the referent. why we say there's no grammatical gender in English, which makes everything much, much easier. So whenever we say in Spanish la casa, in English we're going to say the house. Whenever we say el sol, in English we're going to say the sun. So there's no grammatical gender in English, which makes the use of the language much easier. Okay? There is no gender bias in nouns. Whenever we say the area manager communicated as the bad news, the doctor told me to rest, probably what popped to mind, and it's not always the case, but what might pop to mind, it's a male figure. We might think of the manager as a male individual. We might think of the doctor as a male, but it's because we have a bias, and this goes further than language probably, and it's cultural and it's a social construct, right? Okay. Now, there are 4 genders in English, but they are related to the sex of the reference. Okay, they are not grammatical. So we have masculine nouns and pronouns refer primarily to male people, and this is what the authors say. Okay. Feminine nouns and pronouns refer primarily to female people. So we have personal gender, those nouns and pronouns that refer to people regardless of their being females or males. So for example, with the doctor, that would be personal gender, okay? Because it's a person, either female or male, doesn't matter. And then we have neuter gender, we refer to inanimate. So the French is the neuter gender. But it also refers to animals. So dog is neuter gender. Fish, okay, will be neuter gender. Now, go to those notes, go to those sections, highlight, read and reread, and we are going to be practicing a little bit in the forum, okay?